Right now, beneath your feet, the earth is moving, churning, burning at temperatures that could vaporize steel in seconds. Most of the time, we don't notice. We go about our lives on this thin shell of rock, blissfully unaware of the inferno below. But sometimes, in rare, extraordinary places, that inferno breaks through. And when it does, it creates phenomena so bizarre, so utterly alien, that they challenge everything we think we know about our planet. I'm talking about a landscape in the Sahara that satellite imagery shows as a dark anomaly stretching for thousands of square miles. A pit that's been burning non-stop for half a century, with no signs of stopping. And a discovery beneath Antarctic ice, so unexpected that scientists initially thought their instruments were malfunctioning. These places exist, they're real. And they're about to rewrite your understanding of the ground beneath your feet. From scorched deserts to frozen wastelands, we're diving into three of the most bizarre geological phenomena on Earth. Places where fire and ice collide, where the impossible becomes reality, where nature's fury has left scars that will outlast civilizations. Let's begin our journey in the heart of the world's largest desert, the Sahara Desert. Nearly 4 million square miles of sand, rock, and merciless sun. But there's something here that doesn't belong. Something that satellite images reveal as a massive dark anomaly, stretching across the landscape like spilled ink on golden paper. This is the Harouj volcanic field, 17,000 square miles of ancient volcanic fury, frozen in time. From above, it looks like a wound that never healed, a black stain on the face of Africa that stands out against the surrounding sand like a warning from another age. Here's where it gets interesting. This isn't supposed to exist. Volcanoes don't just appear randomly. They follow rules. They form at tectonic boundaries where continents collide or pull apart. They cluster around fault lines and subduction zones. They have reasons for being where they are. Harouj follows none of these rules. There's no tectonic fault line here, no plate boundary, no geological explanation that makes sense according to everything we thought we knew about how volcanoes work. And yet, here it stands, a sprawling volcanic field sitting in the middle of the African plate, like a puzzle piece from the wrong box. Hundreds of volcanic cones dot the landscape. Lava flows stretch for miles, their surfaces still sharp and jagged, despite millennia of erosion. The rock here is black basalt, volcanic glass that formed when magma erupted and cooled rapidly under the desert sky. So what happened here? How did this geological impossibility come to be? Scientists have a theory, and it's as fascinating as it is unsettling. Deep beneath the Sahara, something called a mantle plume may be at work, a massive column of superheated rock rising from the boundary between Earth's mantle and core, over 1,800 miles below the surface. Think of it like a blowtorch aimed upward from the planet's interior. As this plume of molten rock rises, it punches through the Earth's crust from below, creating volcanoes where none should exist. It doesn't need tectonic boundaries. It doesn't follow the normal rules. It simply burns its way through. The last major eruption here happened around 100,000 years ago. But here's the unsettling part. These volcanoes aren't extinct, they're dormant. The mantle plume is still there, still churning, still heating the rock beneath the desert floor. Which means one day, perhaps tomorrow, or perhaps 10,000 years from now, the Harouj field could wake up again. Stand in the center of this volcanic graveyard, and you're surrounded by the evidence of unimaginable violence. Cinder cones rise like ancient watchtowers. Lava tubes snake through the rock, tunnels carved by rivers of molten stone that once flowed at temperatures exceeding 2,000 degrees. The silence here is absolute. No wind disturbs the black sand. No vegetation breaks the monotone landscape. Just you, the black rock, and the knowledge that somewhere far below, the Earth is still seething with heat powerful enough to reshape continents. This is the face of raw planetary power, and it's just the beginning. If the Harouj Field represents ancient volcanic fury, our next destination is its living, breathing counterpart, a place where the Earth's fire doesn't sleep beneath the surface. It burns in plain sight, day after day, year after year, with no end in sight. Welcome to the crater that refuses to die. In the heart of the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan, there's a hole in the ground approximately 70 meters wide and 30 meters deep. That might not sound particularly remarkable until you learn that it's been on fire continuously for over 5 decades. Local people call it the door to hell, and once you see it, you'll understand why. At night, the Darvaza crater is visible from miles away, a perfect circle of orange flame illuminating the darkness like a beacon from the underworld. The heat is so intense you can't approach within 100 feet without feeling your skin prickle. The roar of burning gas is loud enough to drown out conversation, and it never stops, never dims, never goes out. The year was 1971. Soviet geologists were drilling in the Karakum Desert, searching for oil deposits. They set up their rig, began drilling, and discovered something unexpected, a massive pocket of natural gas. Then, disaster struck. The ground beneath the drilling rig collapsed without warning. The entire operation, equipment, vehicles, and drilling platform plummeted into a newly formed crater as the cavern ceiling gave way. Fortunately, no one was killed, but now they faced a different problem. Methane gas was leaking from the crater in enormous quantities. Methane is odorless, colorless, and highly flammable. It's also heavier than air, meaning it could flow across the desert floor, potentially reaching nearby settlements. It's toxic in high concentrations and explosive when mixed with air. The decision was made to light the gas on fire, let it burn off in a controlled manner, rather than risk a catastrophic explosion or mass poisoning. They estimated it would take a few weeks, maybe months, for the gas to burn out. That was over 50 years ago. It's still burning today. What the Soviet geologists didn't realize was the sheer scale of the gas reservoir they'd punctured. This isn't a pocket of methane. It's a vast underground network, potentially connected to even larger deposits throughout the region. The crater sits atop one of the world's largest natural gas reserves. Some estimates suggest there could be enough gas here to supply a small country for decades. All of it is slowly leaking through this 70-meter wound in the Earth's surface, feeding flames that have burned continuously longer than most people have been alive. The temperature at the crater's edge exceeds 400 degrees Celsius. At the base, where the flames are most intense, temperatures spike to over 1,000 degrees. The rock walls glow red hot. The air shimmers and warps. Stand too close, and the heat pulls moisture from your body faster than you can replace it. The Turkmen government has announced plans to extinguish the crater, citing environmental concerns and wasted natural resources. But extinguishing a fire this size, fed by an essentially limitless supply of fuel, is easier said than done. And part of you has to wonder, even if we could put it out, should we? This burning crater has become a monument to human hubris and nature's raw power, a reminder that sometimes, when we disturb the earth, we create something we can never take back. We've seen fire in the desert, fire in a pit. But our final destination takes us to the last place on Earth. You'd expect to find volcanic activity, a frozen wilderness where temperatures plummet to 100 degrees below zero and ice stretches as far as the eye can see. Prepare yourself for the most surprising discovery of all. Antarctica, the coldest, driest, windiest continent on Earth. A frozen desert containing 70% of the world's fresh water, locked in ice sheets up to 3 miles thick, the very definition of a lifeless, frozen wasteland. Except it's not lifeless. And beneath all that ice, it's not entirely frozen either. In 2017, scientists made an announcement that changed our understanding of Antarctica forever. Using radar imaging and seismic data, they discovered something impossible hidden beneath the ice sheet of West Antarctica: 91 volcanoes. Not ancient, eroded remnants. Active volcanic peaks, buried under 2.5 miles of solid ice. This is the largest volcanic region on Earth that we never knew existed. These aren't small volcanic vents. Some of these peaks rise nearly 2 miles from the bedrock floor, mountains that would rival anything on the surface, completely invisible beneath their frozen shroud. They range in height from 300 feet to over 12,000 feet. Some are likely extinct, but others show signs of recent activity. Heat signatures detected by radar, melted pockets in the overlying ice, chemical traces that suggest magma moving beneath the surface. And here's the terrifying implication: if enough of these volcanoes became active simultaneously, they could melt the ice sheet from below. Billions of tons of ice, destabilized not by rising air temperatures, but by the Earth's internal furnace. We don't know what triggers these volcanoes. We don't know if they erupt on predictable cycles or randomly. We don't even know how many of them are truly active versus merely dormant. What we do know is this: beneath the most inhospitable environment on Earth, there's a hidden world of fire waiting. A reminder that our planet's interior is always churning, always moving, always capable of surprise. The ice keeps its secrets well, but eventually fire always finds a way to the surface. From the black scars of the Sahara to the eternal flames of Turkmenistan to the frozen volcanoes of Antarctica, we've journeyed to places where Earth reveals its true nature: powerful, unpredictable, and utterly indifferent to our expectations. These phenomena remind us that we live on a planet that's very much alive. Beneath the thin crust we call home, forces beyond our comprehension continue to shape our world. The question isn't whether these sleeping giants will wake up again. It's what will happen when they do.